Got some breaking news recently, but it's not really breaking news. Recently, the official Dota 2 Twitter account tweeted out that they won't really have a schedule for the international, and with the current COVID pandemic, that they don't really have a plan for when it will happen. If you don't know anything about Dota 2 is run by Valve, and Valve has a big hand in CSGO. They are also the creators of CSGO. Because of this, what they do in Dota 2 could also affect CSGO. So if you look at their choices with the international, you could take that information and say, well, maybe the CSGO Rio 2020 major won't happen. And I think that's a very likely case. I was on the side that I thought the major would happen online. I thought it would still happen because there's so much money in stickers, and it's so important for all of the teams and all the investments that players and teams have made, along with Valve making that sweet cash from the major. With this most recent announcement, I'm more 50-50. This isn't fact for the major in CSGO, because Valve runs CSGO much different than they run Dota 2. Valve loves Dota 2, that is their baby. They will do anything to make sure that that game is perfect. While CSGO was struggling and it wasn't getting the viewers that it should, and the game was broken and there was so much wrong with it, Valve wasn't really doing anything. Instead, all of their resources were to Dota 2. Recently, Valve has given CSGO much more attention though. CSGO is getting almost weekly updates. It's crazy how much faster they're updating things than before. Before, it just used to be a case every few months, with no updates in between. Now we're constantly getting updates. It seems like Valve actually cares about the game. So if Valve cared about the game, you could compare the international to the upcoming major. If they want the international to be perfect, that's probably why they're postponing it, because they don't want an online play game happening for their biggest event. Now I'm going to point out some reasons as to why I think they aren't comparable and why maybe it's not fact that the Rio major will get postponed. But it's definitely a bigger discussion now, because Valve has actually shown that they will push back an event even longer, and they won't resort to online play like other games. So I think the main difference for me is that the International is a much bigger event than the majors in CSGO. The International just got announced with a $30 million prize pool. The CSGO major, $1 million. So that alone tells you a lot about the differences between these two games. The International is this massive $30 tournament, the biggest tournament in gaming. So if Valve really wanted to make it the best thing ever, they're not going to resort to online play. Compare that to the CSGO major, only $1 million. Another thing to consider is that CSGO, it's very easy to detect cheats. You have wall hacks, you have aim hacks, you have stuff like that, which is very noticeable. There are little cheats like radar hacks and things like that, which could change the course of the game. But with most cheats that will win you the game, it doesn't matter if you're the best skilled player in the server, it doesn't matter if you're the smartest team, if you have the best communication. The cheats that will actually win you a game just off of that are easily detectable. In Dota 2, I can't think of any cheat that would be easily detectable. Maybe speed hacking or something, but that'd be too obvious, there's no point. I know in League of Legends, you can have hacks that make it so it automatically dodges for you. Every attack you automatically dodge. So imagine that on a toggle and a Dota 2 tournament. Say there's a big team fight coming on. You turn on that toggle, you miss everything. You hit them with your special abilities, you absolutely decimate the team, the game is over, because your gold is so much higher. I don't know a whole lot about Dota 2, but I understand the premise. I've watched a little bit of Dota 2, I've watched a little bit of League of Legends, I kinda dabble in the international sometimes. So I know how important these team fights are, and you can have cheats that are really hard to detect, and they can change the whole course of the game. So I think the cheating aspect is also different for Dota 2. It is much easier to have a cheat that decides the game in Dota 2 than it is in CSGO in my opinion. So that may also be another reason as to why Valve is more concerned about going to online play in Dota 2 than they would be in CSGO. The amounts of promotion that teams get from the International is insane. That is the whole purpose to compete in Dota 2, to play in the International. If an International was to be played online, and it was underwhelming, that would be a massive hit to Dota, that'd be a massive hit to all the teams, that'd be a massive hit to all of the players. Valve might be thinking from the perspective that if they postpone it instead of playing it online, they will break viewership records, it'll be a massive event, just like when real sports like basketball and baseball and the NFL and the NHL came back, they were insane numbers for those days because sports finally came back. I don't think that's the case, that's just something I'm throwing in as like a little side piece, but it's also something to consider. That could also be their thought process going into it. But I'm not really a news channel, so let's get into what this actually means for CSGO investments if the major gets postponed again. If the major gets postponed, we're going to see another sticker spike. I don't know when they will announce it, I will assume because it's Valve, probably like a month before the tournament. And prices will skyrocket. I don't think you need a crystal ball for this one. It's pretty easy to tell that the prices will skyrocket again. I don't know if they will be as high as the most recent sticker spike that went all across the market, but I definitely know that the stickers will spike, especially Berlin 2019. The quantity is already getting lower, there are fewer listed on the market, there are still millions probably in inventories, but there are less listed on the market, so when the news comes out, all of those listings will get bought up instantly. Now, I wouldn't sell right away, I would wait a few days. I think there is still a gradual gain that will happen after it spikes, dips a little bit, and continues to go up. So if the major does happen to get postponed, I would wait probably a week to 2 weeks, maybe even 3 weeks after the news before selling. But either way, there will be a massive spike. Whenever you sell, it will be profit. So even though I love CSGO and I love the major, I'm still holding on to so many Berlin 2019 items. I am secretly hoping that the major gets postponed because this would be massive for me and it would be massive for a ton of people. This would obviously make Rio 2020 investments worse because people have even more money to put into majors, and it seems even more profitable to people that are new to this and don't know it, that it's just an anomaly. But a major game postponed again for the second time would be massive for investors. And with this upcoming news, it just seems more and more likely that this might actually happen. So best of luck to everyone holding on to Berlin 2019 items. Let's see if we can profit on this together.